Hey everybody, George here. Welcome to episode 36 of 7 Songs with me. Cheers, one and all, out there in YouTube land. Let us know how the sound is. We had some reconfiguring of some equipment, so we want to make sure that everything is sounding as good as possible. It should be all zippy and dippy and hunky and dory. Today's episode, number 36, like I said, is all Elton John. Cheers. Now, of course, today in Bethlehem, beautiful Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, we have unbelievable weather, spring weather, absolutely just a gorgeous 60-degree day. It's wonderful. But today is, of course, and I didn't plan this out quite right, today is Tunes at Twilight, which means there's a band in front of my place, there's a band behind my place as well, playing outside. You'll probably hear snippets of I don't know, Sugar Magnolia or something coming through at some point, which will just, I think, enhance your overall experience of the 7 songs. So, okay, Ms. Info, are we good sound-wise? People seem to be happy?
Well, Evo thinks it.
Well, if Evo thinks it, then we're good to go. Okay, Elton John. Since we are doing Elton John, I have an assortment of all kinds of props that we have to have here. We'll start with this one. This maybe should be good. And I think these glasses, that'll work, right? That's a good start. Song number 1 features something in it which is hard to do, and it's to have a signature chord. Now, there are bands and other examples of signature chords. For example, if you play an F sharp major with an open B string and an E string, that is a Rush Alex Lifeson patented chord. This is the first chord from Hemispheres. Alex Lifeson owns that chord. So if you're going to use this chord, you're just borrowing it from Alex Lifeson. Pink Floyd, at the start of Echoes, they have that wonderful E flat that just goes. It's like going through a Leslie. You hear that note, and you know that for the next 22 minutes, you're just going to go on this mind trip. They own that. The Beatles. And this isn't the right chord because you need actually 2 guitars to be able to do it. But when you hear "It's been a hard day tonight," you know that chord I'm talking about. It's that first chord. It's hard to do that, to write an iconic chord. Well, this song has an iconic chord that is kind of owned by Elton John, and the chord is a G major 7 chord, and it sounds like this. And you know what the song is right away. When Elton's on tour now, when he starts the show, he walks out and he goes, and there's this huge note on the video screens, and the place just explodes because, of course, it's Bennie and the Jets. Bennie and the Jets. Right? It's a G major 7 chord. It's got that major 7, and it's just his chord. So this song has that chord. I'm going to do it on guitar because you don't often hear it on guitar, and here it is. Bennie from, where are we from? Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 1973. This is Bennie and the Jets. Here we go. Change the weather. We'll kill the fatted calf tonight, so stick around. We're gonna hear electric music, solid walls of sound. Say, Candy and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. Bennie and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Bennie, she's really keen. She's got electric boots, a mohair suit, you know, I read it in a magazine. Oh, Bennie and the Jets. Hey kids, plug into the faithless, maybe they're blinded, but Bennie makes them ageless. We shall arrive, let's take ourselves along. Well, we find our parents out in the street to find who's right and who's wrong. Say, Kenny and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. Bennie and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Bennie, she's really keen. She got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know, I read it in a magazine. Oh, Bennie and the Jets. Bennie and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Bennie, she's really keen. She got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know, I read it in a magazine. Oh, Bennie and the Jets. Bennie and the Jets. Clipping with the guitar. Okay.
But negligible.
So yeah. Yeah, let's do this. 1 second.
The audio.
Pull this back just a little bit. That should do it. Okay. Thanks for that. So, I should say that this episode is not just Elton John, but every song I'm doing, the lyrics are written by Bernie Taupin. So it's kind of an Elton John, Bernie Taupin episode. What's cool with this tune, apart from the one chord thing, the falsetto that Elton's doing in there, he's trying to be Frankie Valli. He's a big Frankie Valli fan, so he's trying to be like Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. When he was growing up, he listened to that stuff when he was in his teens, and he appreciated that very, very much. This song imagines kind of a futuristic rock band that's just made of robots and sort of like plastic people, and that's what this idea was. When Bernie Taupin saw the video for Addicted to Love by Robert Palmer. I don't know if you remember that. Robert Palmer's out front, and behind him is this line of just sort of the models that all look the same. The women, they're all dressed the same. They look the same makeup. Bernie Taupin saw that, and he said, that's Bennie and the Jets. Oh my, that's totally what I was thinking of. This kind of plastic manufactured, everyone looks the same, robotic automaton kind of thing. So that was kind of neat, the connection between Robert Palmer and video and Elton. So yeah, cool. All right, number two. By the way, as ever, if you like what you hear, you can go to my Venmo, you can go to my PayPal, you can throw some bucks in there. And now, if you would like to, if you're unaware, I have a brand new record that just came out 4 weeks ago. It's called TERPSICHORE. You can go to Bandcamp, georgehrab.bandcamp.com, and you can buy a physical CD, which is this lovely constructed, beautiful thing, or get a digital download there as well. Or you can go anywhere on the web and find the digital versions of it, and you can pick it up for yourself. Song number 2. Let's see what's going to be an appropriate chapeau. We'll do that. We'll do this. Here we go. Glasses number 2, and we'll do. I think that's good. How's that? Does that work for everybody?
I like it.
Okay, good. Song number 2 is from the album called Elton John. It's from 1970, and it's Your Song. It's Your Song. Now, what this song has is what I call the yes progression. And this is something that Elton uses a lot. And it's essentially a 1, 4, and 5 chord over a pedal tone. Now, what does that mean? So we're in E flat in this particular song, right? So that's your 1 chord, and then your 4 chord is A flat, 5 chord B flat. right? Just regular blues. But what Elton does is he keeps that E flat in the bass. A flat over E flat, B flat over E flat, A flat over E flat, right? Yes does this all the time. There's tons of Yes songs. A man conceived a moment's answers to the dream, staying the flowers daily, sensing all the themes, or John Anderson loves that thing of just the one for, what you gonna do when the lightning strikes and hits you? What you gonna do? Same deal. So Elton does that in the intro of this song. E, A, B flat, A flat, E flat. And it's neat. And then he sort of extends and does a lot of sort of very straightforward harmonic motion in this, with some nice descending bass lines, and it's very straightforward. He and Bernie pretty much both agree that this is a perfect song. Elton wrote the music in like 20 minutes, apparently, in his foyer. He was sitting in his room. Bernie had written the words the night before, and Elton, it just poured out of him, very much like it is in the movie, represented the Taron Egerton film. Apparently, it's pretty realistic that it just kind of poured out of him. And in many ways, they say they never did better. They never did better than this song. So here it is from 1970. Listen for that Yes progression, although it could be called an Elton progression because we'll come to it later on in the song list as well. This is Your Song. I just love this tune. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who writes potions in a traveling show. No, it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. You could tell everybody this is your song. It might be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Sat on the roof, kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross. The sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for forgetting these things, but I do. You see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is what I really mean. Your eyes are the sweetest I've ever seen. You could tell everybody this is your song. It might be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I hope hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I just remembered I had a pith helmet on while I was doing that. Probably looks very silly. Isn't that lovely? And it's neat because in terms of a pop tune, this is one of the very first sort of pop tunes where the lyrics that's successful, that the lyrics really stretch and are very conversational. This whole thing, you know, when he says, but then again, no. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no. It's like such a weird thing to do in a line, to be like, oh, I'm going to present this idea. If I was a sculptor, and then traditionally you would say, I would sculpt the most beautiful, and you come up with some metaphor. But here he's like, if I was a sculptor, well, no, scratch that. And then later on, you know, excuse me for forgetting these things I do. I've forgotten if your eyes are green or blue. You know, it's a very conversational sort of lyric that's really, really interesting. Okay, we still good sound wise?
Yep.
All
I
right.
thought you were going to play Burn Down the Mission when you put the pith helmet on.
No, oh, that's that would have been better. Burn Down the Mission would have been better. Yeah. Let's do this. There we go. What do I have on? Yeah, this will be a good combo. The next song, we're going to jump ahead a little bit. I tried to not just do all the 70s tunes. It's very easy when you're doing Elton John best of to just kind of be stuck in the 70s. I didn't want to do Disney songs either, so I didn't want to do stuff that was from shows. I wanted to do kind of just Elton and Bernie singles, stuff that were off of their albums. So we're going to jump ahead to 2001 off of an album called Songs from the West Coast. And this was a really cool album. I think this is when Bernie and Elton had gotten back together. They had worked for a while separately, and they kind of got back together consciously and decided to do this album. And the song that I'm going to do, I love this song. And I've connected with it in the last 3 or 4 months or so. I sort of rediscovered it because I saw the video on YouTube. I just came across it. And the video is Robert Downey Jr. This is, I think he's still in rehab at this point. It's like, because it's like 2000. So he's not Iron Man. He's not had the big comeback yet. He's been in prison. I think he's just out of prison. It's Robert Downey Jr. It's a single take, and he's lip syncing the words in a mansion. He's walking around this mansion. It's a lovely video. It's very, I remember at the time, it's very moving, sort of very lovely. The song is called I Want Love. I Want Love. And we're one interesting parallel, and I won't get too deep into this, but the song starts with these chords. The verses start like that. And what occurred to me was that in 1995, when the Beatles anthology was out, the Free as a Bird had those same similar chords. Free as a bird. And so Elton starts his with I want love is impossible. So there's this very similar timbre and tempo and key and everything, and I wonder how much he was influenced by that, because obviously he's a Beatles fan. He was a friend of John Lennon's. They were buddies. They performed together. But that struck me on hearing the song years later, thinking like, oh, it's the first 3 chords of Free as a Bird in the same thing. Anyway, these words are really lovely, dark, but I enjoy this song very much. This is called I Want Love. It's impossible. A man like me, so irresponsible. A man like me is dead in places. Other men feel liberated. I can't love so full of holes. Don't feel nothing, I just feel cold. I don't feel nothing, just old scars toughening up around my heart. But I want love, just a different fence me in. I wanna love, it's the love I want, that's the love I need. I want love. I want love on my own terms. After everything I ever learned, me, I carry too much baggage. Oh man, I've seen so much traffic, but I want love, just a different kind. I want love, won't break me down, won't break me up, won't fence me in. I want a love that don't mean a thing, that's the love I want. I want love. So bring it on, I've been bruised. Don't give me love that's clean and smooth. I'm ready for that rougher stuff. No sweet romance, I've had enough. A man like me is dead in places. Other men feel liberated. But I want love, just a different kind. I want love, won't break me down, won't break me up, won't fence me in. I want a love, that's the kind I want. I want love, I want love. Very lovely tune. Sort of that album is it's a bit of a lost gem, and he doesn't play many songs from that record live when he tours anymore, and it's a bit of a shame because it's a really well written, well crafted, well produced record. Kind of old back to the '70s school. There's no synths. It's just piano and organ and drums and guitar. It's very straightforward. So yeah.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, it's lovely. Check out the video. You'll love the video. It's like a gorgeous Robert Downey Jr. He's like 35 or 36 or something, and it's just really
Everyone
great.
loved him.
All right, zipping along here. Let's see. We'll switch out the thing with the thing.
Oh, there was a consensus that people were getting Captain and Tennille vibes.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, this is a good one, I think. Next tune. What should I do? I'm going to do this on guitar. This is from 1972, from an album called Honky Chateau, and this was a time when Elton had rented this entire mansion basically, and he would be downstairs writing music that Bernie had been working on the night before, the day before, and they wrote and recorded this entire album in this place, and it's just the songs are just unbelievably cool. So the song is called Rocket Man. And I didn't realize this, but Rocket Man is inspired by a book by Ray Bradbury called Rocket Man. Go figure. Now, this also is sort of a response or a similar or a ripoff, or depending on what you want to talk about, to David Bowie's Space Oddity. It's another one of these songs because, the moon landings were happening, so NASA was going on between, 69, 70, 71. And using the metaphor of space travel as someone that's lost, someone that maybe is dealing with addiction, someone that's dealing with loneliness. It's just the same metaphors are being used in this as they are in Space Oddity. And what's curious is a guy named Gus Dudgeon was a producer on both the song Space Oddity and on Rocket Man. Although Bernie and Elton, they vehemently say that it's not an ode to Space Oddity, it's not a ripoff of Space Oddity, that it's just a pure coincidence that those two things. But yeah, one cool little fact: when Elton John was in the Soviet Union, he did a tour in the late 70s, early 80s. This was a big deal. He was one of the first Western artists to perform in the Soviet Union. This song was listed as Cosmonaut whenever they played it in the program. So it wasn't Rocket Man, it was Cosmonaut, which is nice. And so this has one of the most unknown lyrics in it, too, at the end of the chorus. It's Rocket Man burning out his fuse up here alone. There's an entire website of people that have posted what they think the words are there. Rocket Man burning out his fuse up here alone. Burning out his fuse up here alone. That's what it is. Here it is from 1972, again with Bernie Taupin. This is Rocket Man. She packed my bags last night pre-flight. 0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out there in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. Oh, no, no, no. But I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. Well, I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell. And there's no one there to raise them if you did. And all this science I don't understand. It's just my job 5 days a week. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. But I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. Rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
Captain Disillusion was writing some Russian lyrics.
Oh my goodness. Go take a look at Captain Disillusion's latest. I mean, look at all of Captain Disillusion's videos because my goodness, they're just insane. But the latest one, I'm not. If you're unfamiliar, just go away from this and go to Captain Disillusion's video feed, YouTube thing, and it's. I don't know how the videos keep getting better and better and more interesting and funnier and more clever and more, it's insanely good. If you're unfamiliar, become familiar. Become familiar. And it's smart. It's not just entertaining and funny and hilarious and brilliantly done, but it's so smart and informationally valid and sane. It's just I gotta stop because it's so good. It actually upsets me a little bit. It makes me want to wear a blue cowboy hat. That's what it does.
They want to know where you got it from. Bruce suggested a street vendor in Times Square.
No. Here's the funny thing. One of the most expensive gigs that I ever played in terms of what was spent on, from our estimation, was in Philadelphia. It was a bat mitzvah. It was a bat mitzvah probably, 18 years ago. This was easily, and this is not hyperbole, it's easily a $250,000 bat mitzvah. Why? It was essentially two complete parties. It was the party on one floor of this hotel, floor of a hotel in Philadelphia, Center City, Philadelphia. That was for the kids, the 13-year-olds, all the friends, all the schoolmates, all the stuff, whatever, which had video games and dancers and food and DJs and lasers and stuff. And then the second floor, the second area was for the adults. So the adults had their own party. We played the adult party. We were doing our 70s and 80s hits, whatever. And they had probably 300 of these hats and of these hats. And at the end of the night, they just left them. So I grabbed everything I could because I thought 18 years from now, I might be doing an Elton John tribute thing, and I'm going to need a variety of chapeau or a vie show. So yeah, it was from it was gross. It was gross. They were lovely people and it was fine. But I thought, you know what you could do instead of having a $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 bat mitzvah, go and build a hospital, like in sub-Saharan Africa. Go build a hospital. Go build a school. And then take your daughter there and say, like, we're going to name this school after you. Because you could do it. You could, for $500,000, you could, like, go build a hospital. Go build a hospital in Appalachia But, I got hats out of it, so there you go. I should have saved this for this one, but I'm gonna change. All right, another glasses. Wait a minute. Let's do this. Oh, I'll do these for this one. We're going to zip along here. We're at song number 5. This is from 1983. The album, this is in the middle of Elton's kind of cocaine time. I'm going to do this one because this is ridiculous. This hat is older than some of you people that are watching, I'm sure. How great is this? Look at this thing. Is that not the best? This is such a stupid hat, and I can't get rid of it. I've had this since 1985, I think, maybe. And it still fits. This is from the album called Too Low for Zero, and the song is I'm Still Standing. And we get back to our yes progression, right? So we've got, this time we're in A. A man can see the moment, answers to the dream. So we're back to this 1, 4, 5. But what Elton does here, which is really cool, is he does the minor version as well. So we have the major version, but then he does a minor version. And you can hear the chorus. Standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he loves that pedal tone. He loves that A ringing out. And then minor. It's so cool. It's so cool. This is a great video. This is the video that, you go back and you're like, of course he's gay. Of course. Really? Was there any doubt? You look at Rob Halford in the middle of Judas Priest, and you're like, yeah, of course he's gay. Great. You see all the bracelets and the things and the chains and the whips and the leather. It's like, of course Rob Halford's gay. How did we not know Rob Halford? And you look at this, I'm Still Standing. It's like, yes, of course he's gay. It's great. It's just like there was such an insulated thing. It's like fans of Liberace that didn't realize. It's like amazing. So Freddie Mercury. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a band called Queen.
Tom Papa did a whole thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So here it is. Listen for those pedal tones. Listen for the change from major to minor. The verses are major, and then the chorus is minor, which is interesting too, because normally you go the other way, sort of, I think. You would be like a minor verse and then like a major, like a resolution major for the chorus, but this is not, because it's a very triumphant kind of thing, and it's I'm still standing despite what's happening. So here we go. From Too Low for Zero, this is I'm Still Standing. Never know what it's like. Your blood like winter freezes just like ice, and there's a cold lonely light that shines from you. You wind up like the wreck you hide behind that mask you use. Did you think this fool would ever win? Well, look at me, I'm coming back again. I got a taste of love in a simple way, and if you need to know why I'm still standing, you just fade away. Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing after all this time. I'm picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. I never could hope to win. Starting down the road, you're leaving me again. The threats you made were meant to cut me down, and if a love was just a circus, you'd be a clown by now. Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid. Oh, I'm still standing after all this time. Picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing after all this time. I'm picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. It's great. It's great. It's such a. I don't know of another song that does that. That does the 1-4-5 major, and then the 1-4-5 minor. I mean, the E is major, but still, it's a really cool use of that minor third and how it changes the thing. Because you have this, need to know why I'm still standing, you just fade away, major. Don't you know, minor, do-do. It's so effective. It's so, like, you know, just dealing with it. It's really cool. It's really cool.
You're getting a lot of potatoes.
Yay, a lot of potatoes. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, you can go to any one of these sites and you can throw a few shekels in that direction. If you go to the third one, georgehrab.bandcamp.com, you'll get something in the mail if you buy a CD, or you get something digitally sent to you. Yeah, let's go to this one now. Let's see what's a good hat here. All right, we'll do this. Maybe not appropriate, but what the hell. Actually, in the video for this, Elton is wearing a cowboy hat. It's not pink, but and it's not from a bat mitzvah, I'm sure. But this is another one of these songs that I forgot about, and then it kind of struck me. And at the time, I remember being a kid and really liking the song. This is from 1982. It's not a great album. The album's called Jump Up, and this is kind of the only song that was on there that was kind of a hit or that was worthwhile. And Bernie Taupin has a theory as to why that's true. Normally when Bernie and Elton work together, Bernie writes the words and he gives them to Elton, and they're pretty much finished. They're pretty much done. I mean, there might be some little changes, but they're pretty much established. Then Elton takes the lyrics and he writes the music. When they were working on the album Jump Up, Elton started writing melodies. Just la 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 la, whistle whistle, whatever whatever. He gave those to Bernie, and Bernie tried to write lyrics to that, and Bernie thinks like it just didn't work. The only song on that album that didn't happen is this one, and it's called Empty Garden. And this is in response to John Lennon being murdered. Bernie Taupin heard the news, just freaked out, basically locked himself in his room for 2 days, and he wrote these words. He was worried that it was like taking advantage of a really bad situation, but he just therapeutically, he just had to do it. So there's a nice little Beatles quote in here where he says, "Can you come out to play?" And that's from Dear Prudence. So it's using the illusion of a empty garden, that the person that used to tend this garden is no longer there. As songs like this go, that are tributes to people that are lost, it's lovely because it's subtle in its use of its metaphors. It's not heavy-handed, and it just breaks your heart. There's a neat thing too, that the opening interval is a sixth. Oh, sorry. What happened here? What happened here? You don't often get that interval. My body lies over the ocean. It's a major sixth in the middle of an A chord. What happened here? It's a really neat introductory because it sort of throws you for a shock, sort of, at the very start of the song. So you're like, what key are we in? It's really interesting. So, here it is from 1982. It's a heartbreaking song, but this is called Empty Garden. What happened here as the New York sunset disappeared? I found an empty garden among the flagstones there. Ooh, who lived here? He must have been a gardener that cared a lot, who weeded out the tears and grew a good crop. And now it all looks strange. It's funny how one insect can damage so much grain. And what's it for? This little empty garden by the brownstone door, and in the cracks along the sidewalk, nothing grows no more. Ooh, who lived here? He must have been a gardener that cared a lot, who weeded out the tears and grew a good crop. And we are so amazed, we're crippled and we're dazed. A gardener like that one, no one can replace. And I've been knocking, but no one answers. And I've been knocking most of the day. Oh, I've been calling. Hey, hey, Johnny, can you come out to play? Through the tears, some say he farmed his best in his younger years, but he'd have said that roots grow stronger if only he could hear. Ooh, who lived there? He must have been a gardener that cared a lot, who weeded out the tears and grew a good crop. Now we pray for rain. With every drop that falls, we hear your name. And I've been knocking, but no one answers. I've been knocking, Can you come out to play in your empty garden, Johnny? Can you come out to play in your empty garden, Johnny? Can you come out to play in your empty garden, Johnny? Can you come out to play in your empty garden? It's neat that it's almost like that tag is like the chorus, and it's almost like the chorus doesn't come until the end of the song. It's new thematic material. That melody doesn't happen anywhere else in the song, and it's really neat. It's a tag essentially at the end of the song, but the chorus is sort of it's almost more of a verse. So I like that. I think of that as this extra bonus chorus of longing that happens at the end of the song. It's really, really cool.
So in the chat,
Yes.
NYC Views said that Elton only plays that in New York City. He once said.
Elton only plays that at Madison Square Garden, not only New York
that?
City.
I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna mention that Elton only plays that song at Madison Square Garden because that's where he and John Lennon performed together. He had made a bet with John Lennon. He said, okay, because he re-recorded "Picture Yourself on a Bar by the River." What's that song called? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Elton John did a version of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and he bet John Lennon that if the song went to #1, John Lennon would perform with him at Madison Square Garden. And John Lennon by that point hated performing. He was out of practice, let alone 30,000 people at Madison Square Garden. It went to #1. John, being a man of his word, did and performed. And there's actually film footage of this. Someone in the audience had a film camera, and there's film footage of it. I think he did, I forget what songs he did, but so that was one of the only times that Elton and John performed together. So Elton only will do this song, if he ever does it, he only does it at Madison Square Garden, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Isn't that neat? So, yeah. All right. One more. Let's go to the fully British. Here we go. Which glasses haven't I done yet? I don't even know. Did I do these already? I think I did these already. I'm not sure. Let me go back to the British glasses here.
The little circular ones.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
This will be good. So I'm going to end 7 songs with the song that Elton is ending his tour with, which will eventually be the last song that. Did we use this camera at all? Did we switch cameras at all?
I have.
Oh, you're good. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want me to switch again?
switch again.
Okay.
Get the full hat. Get the full. What do they call these? Bobby hats. Get the full Bobby hat. Listen, folks, thank you for tuning in. I know it's been a while since we've done these, but I want to get back into the habit of doing them because they're fun, they're interesting. I hope you enjoy them. It's a good challenge for me as well. Don't forget, you can go purchase some stuff if you're interested. Anyway, the final tour that Elton John is now on, where it's like a 3-year-long tour. I think he's got his last 4 months to go or something. It's called the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road tour, and he ends the show with Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Disney Plus has his concert on there if you want to check it out. That was from Dodger Stadium. That was the last American show he ever did. It's good. It's not great. It's a little sterile. It's a little sterile in terms of the production of it, and the sound of it. To me, was a little bit like it's neat. I mean, it's all hits. And it's cool to see just there are people in the audience that were there. There's a whole little special beforehand. People that were there 40 years ago, 30 years ago when he first played there, when he wore the big sparkly Dodgers outfit and all that. And so it's neat to watch. But he ends the show by playing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which is off of the album Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And there's one really cool harmonic thing that Elton does throughout here, where he extends the cadence. So let me see if I can explain this in a good way. In the chorus, we've got this line: "Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad." Right? "I finally found my future lies beyond the yellow brick road." Right? We're in F essentially. So this is our home key. And he does this neat thing that he could have said, "Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad." totally work, because we're back at F now. You could go, I finally found my future lies beyond the yellow brick. But he doesn't do that. He extends that harmonic structure. Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad. Doesn't do that. He goes, I finally found my... It's almost like he's extending this journey to try to get back to the home key of F by adding this D flat. It's like a weird... It's up a third from where he was. So again, instead of... He goes... And then... And he also extends the cadence there at the end. It lies beyond the yellow brick road. Back to the home key. So it's neat. You see what your ear is expecting to happen with the versus. It's like this, whoa, because our journey is perilous, you know? It's a perilous journey trying to get back to trying to leave the yellow brick road. Goodbye, yellow brick road. Bernie Taupin wrote this in the midst of sort of their crazy fame, and he was thinking like, I think I need to just get to a simpler life. I gotta leave Oz behind, and that's what this song is about. So, here we go. When are you gonna come down? When are you going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. I know you can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. So goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow, back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad. I finally found my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. What do you think they'll do then? I bet you they shoot down your plane. It'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics to set you on your feet again. Maybe you'll get a replacement. There's plenty like me to be found. Mongrels who ain't got a penny, sniffing for tidbits like you on the ground. So goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow, back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad. I finally found my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. So goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow, back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny black toad. I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. There it is. That was 7. This is George. That's Donna. This is a hat. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful, safe spring. Please don't forget, Terpsichore, this right here is available at Bandcamp, as well as Amazon Music and iTunes and Stitcher and Deezer and Flapjack and Hear Me and Zip Zip and Flamgedaschen. Flamgedaschen. That's the Flemish download site. It's amazing. Flamgedaschen. You get a Pennekoken with every time you download something. It's amazing. It's amazing. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time. Take care of each other. I so appreciate your attention. Thank you, Elton. Congratulations on a wonderful career. My goodness gracious. Just only guy, I think, who has had a top number one or top 5 hit 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. It's just insane. It's just insane. Cheers. Good night, everybody.